We're starting, did you start?
7.
Okay. We have started, we're on number 7, which is office and time management. It's going to be money management and promotions. You know, I'm not going to necessarily do life changer promotions, but just promotions for Mary Kay. What it means when you say court of sales, what it means when you say court of recruiting. You know, so let's talk about office and time management. You guys spoke and I listened. So, and first, let's talk about proactive planning. This is not just a Mary Kay lesson, but a life lesson. Have you ever gone to bed, and I'm preaching to the choir, have you ever gone to bed on the first day of the month and woken up and it's the 30th?
Oh,
yeah. And he's like, oh, that's me. And you think, where did the time go? So here's the deal. If we don't plan proactively, we will live our life in knee-jerk reaction dealing with whatever slaps us in the face. I'm serious. I've been there. I'm making some changes. So the Mary Kay gives us four big tools to help us with this. The first is your weekly plan sheet. And you're like, what? A weekly plan sheet. Thank you. Okay. Good. Now, the first thing, okay, so this, I actually do this on my iPad now. Sarah Catherine uses this. Like, my printer wasn't working. I was like, Sarah Catherine, help me. She's like, oh, I got them right here because I use them. She uses them every single week. I do it on my iPad. But there's something physical about writing it. So what I want you to do is go ahead and X out all the times that you're at work. A lot of y'all work another job, so make a big X because that's your just over broke position. I'm just kidding. You might love your job, so I don't want to say that. But X out the times that you work. And I don't know if y'all have highlighters or I should have brought highlighters. Dang it.
Oh, you should have told me they're in my car.
Miss Teacher. Okay, so you can do little circles or whatever. The next thing I want you to do is circle or mark off the times that you're at church and Bible study. Say you do your devotion at 7 in the morning. You know, make that, or you can put, Bible study, just all the way across the week. Whenever Wednesday nights you're at church, Sunday, I understand that's why some people don't make the call on Sundays. So that's your time. That's good. I want you to give it to God. Then I want you to go through and mark out family time. So, and that's important because once a week you need to maintain your sanity and your marriage or your children, whatever else. It's really funny because last night we were at my parents' for my birthday, for my party, and I had not done anything but just fun stuff the following day. But I was like, oops, my little call's coming up. So I was sitting over there, making some notes for the call and stuff, and my dad made the comment, he was like, Troy, do you ever get tired of Lisa always, looking at her phone? And he said, you know what Troy said? He goes, no, she gives me all the time I need. He was like, oh, okay. So that shut him up. But, so my husband doesn't feel like I'm ignoring him, Now, I have been better. Like, I know Amy was texting me the other night. She probably did say I was ignoring her, but I wasn't. We were having dinner, and I went ahead and put my phone over there because I know that if it's beside me, it's too big of a temptation. It really is. So when we're sitting when we're eating dinner together, I really want to give my family the attention that they
deserve.
Yeah. Because the whole point of this is to show, I want to promote my lifestyle, not be like, oh, she's attached to her phone, and she can't ever break away. So, okay, so then highlight the family time, and if you're not married, but, like I know Lauren's told me this is my family time on this certain time, so highlight that or mark that out. You want to do that as well because you started Mary Kay in order to have a life. Then, whatever you have left in the white space is where you can put your Mary Kay in. And that's what I talked about, too, last night on the call, is if you don't actively, and you're not proactively telling where your time is going to be, your time is going to tell you where you're going to be. So you're not going to have control if it's just swimming around in your head, really and truly. And remember that Monday night is a great night to bring your follow-up facials, or the first facial. then like this is actually a follow-up facial, and she got her to bring a friend. She told her, if you bring a friend, then y'all will both get a prize. I don't care. Bring whoever. I'm going to give them a prize. I'll give them something out of my bag. I do not care. I will get them. Did that motivate them at all? Did. Okay. So, you don't have to be at the mercy of anybody but yourself. So when you're booking appointments to your clients, for example, you would say, oh, I hold my appointments on Tuesdays and Saturdays. It's just best for you. It's that simple. What you're creating is a generic perfect week. I highly encourage you to take 15 minutes on a Sunday night because that's the beginning of your week. And I say night, not in the morning, because in the morning you've already got too many things going on in your head. Plus, there's been scientific studies out there that show that what you do right before you go to bed, like, this could be torture in a way, but it mulls over in your head like throughout the night so that it's like setting in. What you think about last is what is sitting in your head all night long. And then you're ready, your brain is in the right place to go on Monday morning. All I know is if I do that on Monday morning, I'm like, whoa, I'm scattered. Y'all make fun of me because I'm up late, but that's when I work best. And that's when I know what I'm doing. But if you're a morning person, that's great. Do that. Stuff comes up. It totally comes up, but if you don't plan it out, you'll never get it done. And then I'd highly recommend that you give yourself 3 solid booking hours a week where you can set aside, like I have these 3 hours that I'm going to do. I'm not going to answer the phone. I don't care if it's Mama, Papa Joe, Grandma Susie, well, if it's a school calling about an emergency, then I understand it. But 3 solid booking hours, that means with no interruptions. And if you have a real life and it doesn't allow you to do it in hour increments, then do it in 20-minute increments. Like say you work another job and you've got 30-minute lunch break or something. Flame ripping down in 10 minutes and you get a 20. I'm just kidding. Okay, so this is, well, no, it's amazing. I mean, Leah, people tell me they're busy, and I'm like, she's going to school full time, she works at Sonic, and then she's doing all this stuff with Mary Kay.
Most of my people come up to Sonic to pick up their orders.
Oh my God.
No, seriously. Yeah. 80% of them.
And even me with, oh my word, even me with customers, I don't necessarily, like I had someone and I love her dearly, but she texted me today and she's like, are you home? And I said, I am, but I'm getting ready for my meeting right now. What do you need? She said, I need some product. I said, I can put it out in the cooler for you real quick. And she's like, no, I'll come back when you're. I said, okay. I mean, I'm not going to miss a sale, but I could not just stop and have a 30-minute conversation. Right. Does that make sense? Because the customer decided to. I need to be prepared for y'all tonight. Okay. So this is weekly plan sheet, and you can Google this. Not Google it. Search for it in Mary Kay in Touch, and it's there when you need more. Then the second sheet that is your weekly accomplishment sheet. Now, in all honesty, this is on Mary Kay in Touch. I would never. This is what it looks like, though. You can print it up on paper. Does everybody know what a weekly accomplishment sheet is? No? Yes? Okay. It is. This is what it looks like. Well, where did it go? It's basically you tracking your sales, your hostesses, your appointments. I use it I don't put in all that information because that would take me a year and a day every time for every week. But I do, here, I'll show you. This is what I do with it. You can, if you just go to the drop-down menu under, what's it under? Ordering or business tools? Business tools. I have somebody else do it for me now. But this is my printed weekly accomplishment sheet. What does it have? It's got my sales tickets in it from that. So all I'm entering is my, I'm putting in my sales before tax and then the sales tax on top of that because I'm going to show you tax-wise at the end of the year. They want to know what you sold plus tax. So I don't put in anything else personally. I don't get into. I just want to know what my sales were for this. Okay. So you're saying what is this right here? I have an envelope system for every month. I had this envelope January through December, and it says 2013. So what I'm doing is every single week, I'm actually having Dana do it, but she goes in and okay, let me tell you how to do this. The sales ticket right here. You can have a paper sales ticket, or you can do it online and have an online sales ticket. That it would be where you go to, I'm looking for one, to my customers and create an order. Okay, this is what an online sales ticket looks like. The benefit of doing it online versus paper is that it keeps a record of what so she uses Timewise, Mattware, Liquid Foundation, Beige 7. If I'm not at home and I'm in a different place and she wants to order it from me, and my folder for her is at home with this in it.
Keeps it online.
This keeps it online, and I can customer delivery service it to her, or I can go and look it up. That's the benefit of having it now online. Now, I've just been doing paper for a long time, so it's a hard habit for me to get out of. But either way, you want to have 3 copies of each, and I'm going to tell you why. You want to have one to go, the top copy when you sell something, this is the one that I'm going to tear off and put in her folder. Each one of my customers, I have a folder on. And I put in the top copy, because look what it has at the top. It has her credit card information. Now, she asked me to not keep, most of them want me to keep their credit card information on file for them, so that they'll say, just use the credit card that you have on file. If they tell me, I don't want you to keep that information, I can black it out. I just keep them happy. But the top one is the one that's going to have the credit card information on it. So that's the one that I put in Jessica Barnes' manila folder. Okay? Other things, I'll talk about that in a minute. Second copy is the one I give to her in her bag, or if I'm printing it, in her bag. Okay? Third copy is the one that I'm putting in I have a little folder on the side of my desk, and it says sales. And every time the rest of it, I just stick it in there, and then when I'm done at the end of the week, I pull it out, and that's where I enter them here on InTouch, print up this sheet, stick these in here so I have a record, and that's my week sales for 2/4 through 2/10 was about 400, oh my goodness, I can't even add this up. Adds it up for you.
Isn't it total in the back?
Thank you. This week's total. Oh, yeah. It says 318 and then 26.15 for sales tax. So that was my week that week. So then I put it in, that's week 1. Then we do week 2. That's what that third copy is for. Week 3. Week 4. Then what I do is I add up all of these. Before tax, after tax, total was $28.75 for February. That's what I sold, including tax. I really sold.
Before tax, after tax?
Yeah.
Total.
Total. Because at the end of the year, I'm going to take all of these and to enter in the tax form that Jeff gives us. Write this down, jeffthetaxman.com. That's where you're going to find your tax form. I'm going to show it to you. But I just take this total number, and I add up January through February, and that's my total retail sales for the entire year.
And you add the sales tax to it?
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember if we did or not.
Yeah. So, questions about that?
And if you have any questions, feel free to write down the name Clint Brunson, because that's my husband, and he does accounting. So.
There you go.
That's Clint Brunson.
BRUNSON.
Yeah. What you
that's one system that I keep. So y'all understand what the 3 copies are for. And maybe there's a better way to do it. I don't know. This has been working for me for years now. That's all I got to say. And the other thing that I do is, okay, so I have a customer profile card. on each person. Well, looky here. She did referrals on the back, and the reason I've been holding on to these is that she said she was going to be
A person.
She was going to be, I attached her what do you think form because she was going to be a consultant. Yeah, she still hasn't filled it in. I'm going to give her one more chance. That she's on my list to give her one more chance this week. I'm going to say, would you like, because I don't want to take her referrals if she's going to become a consultant. But if she's not and she doesn't want to host a party, then these are my referrals to work from. So in that case, what I would do is tear off. What I normally do is, but this is just because I didn't know. She said she's going to be I tear off the top one, and I put the top one in her folder. That way I have her information on paper, but I also have Dana enter this online. I don't enter everything. I don't enter, just the main information that I have, because then she's permanent for my PCP list if I want to send her on my PCP, and I can remove her at any time. Okay? The other thing, this is really old. Beth, you can see how long I've been using this. This is the old closing sheet I used to do. But if they don't keep their closing sheet, there's different thoughts about this. Sometimes what I was doing was keeping their closing sheet because then I had their wish list of what they wanted. Like I knew what she bought, but then they had a wish list. I knew what she wanted, next. So if you let them keep their closing sheet, then you want to write their wish list on the back of here, That's what I've been doing, is writing their wish list back of things they wanted that they didn't get. Okay? Then what I do is when they have referrals, I go ahead and I tear off, this is our customer profile sheet, I tear off that second one that has it in there, and then I have a folder that says referrals. Then I know that these are my referrals to work from, to book, or give to my consultant when I don't have it. Yeah. Okay. Are there any questions on that? Does that work for y'all? Are you excited? Okay. What?
Good system.
I didn't think of it, but I got it from a national sales director and works quite well. So, the other thing that I do, and Jeff the tax man says to do this, see these consultant order forms? Every time I do an order, they ask me if I want one. I say, yes, I do. And they also come in your Applause magazine. Why do I want one of these? Well, I'm going to put giveaways 2013, personal 2013, and demo 2013.
I didn't think we were supposed to do personal.
You don't have to. I just want to know how much I'm using of my own stuff.
Now, do you put the personal on your taxes? I thought he said don't.
It comes out of your cost of goods sold. I just want to know how much I'm using.
Oh, okay.
And the same thing with demo. It comes out of your cost of goods sold.
Right, yeah. I know
but this is important. Giveaways is important.
Right.
And I keep a pencil. My pencil never moves. And I have these 3 forms. And so if I take something off of my shelf as a giveaway to anybody, I gave away a travel roll-up bag. Or I gave away, all that little bag of stuff. I'll, at the end, I'll say retail amount of that was say $500. Then it doesn't have to be what it was. I just find if it was a $20 item, I just put a little tick mark there in pencil. It doesn't have to be that I actually gave away a bronze 2. I just want to know the dollar amount so that at the end of the year, I can add this up, and then on my taxes, I get credit for giving away Section 1 wholesale products. That's why I do a lot of pink sale items, the nail polishes. Pink sale items are items that they are discontinued items and they're being sold to consultants at a reduced rate. But in order to be eligible to buy off the pink sale, that whatever wholesale order that you're doing has to be a minimum of $400. Then they'll say, oh, you're eligible for the pink sale.
200. 400 retail.
I think it's 400.
No, because I created
really?
a work
Okay.
an in progress order
okay.
for me to get to my star. So I'm kind of just adding stuff. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. And it was 2 because once I hit 202, it
They
jumped
did
me.
that? Okay. Yeah. See?
It's 400
You
retail.
could be a Cadillac sales director, not miss it.
Okay, back
I
to the
just always
demos.
do
Now,
big
the
orders at the end of the
demos,
month.
you write them off on your taxes.
What?
It comes out of your cost of goods sold.
Okay.
I just want to know, these 2 are for my knowledge. Now, consultant order forms change every quarter. So
Yeah,
I
I
went
just
ahead
had a
and I
different
pulled
color
3
one.
new ones every quarter because there's going to be different items on there that aren't on the previous one. Does that make sense?
I add mine up and then
Okay.
for that quarter.
But I don't add it up. She adds it up quarterly. I don't. I just add it up at the end of the year for my tax. Okay. The other thing you want to have is a mileage log. Does everybody have a mileage log?
No.
These are, go make copies. These are on jeffthetaxman.com. You can print them up. This is just really, if you were to ever get audited, I don't usually audit consultants. They like to audit directors who are making some big piece of money. If you have this all written out, then Jeff has said that if they see that you have that done, they don't even mess with you at all. They're just like, oh,
Should I
shoot.
keep mine in my planner and I write these things in my planner? Is that okay, or do I need to do this?
This.
So
I have it
like
in my
each
car.
time, like when I go somewhere, I write where I'm going.
And you want to have a reason every time you go somewhere. There's a reason. If I go to lunch, like today, so I met Maureen for lunch. She gave me my birthday lunch. So the girl she wasn't my server today, but she's my server before. I've been layering her to come. And so I talked to her again about coming as a model. She's like, oh, I'm not a model. I'm like, girl, yes you are. So I can write off my mileage it wasn't very much mileage, but it all adds up. Okay?
What I've been trying to do for my mileage is like have a mileage app, and then I'll jot down, whatever in my app, and then I'll transfer it to my log.
Oh, wow.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Just
It's right there on the go.
What's your app?
Tell me.
Well, there's different apps. Just for an Android, there's one that's
I'll forget you're not.
Trip Mileage app, and it's for people that have a small business that need it.
What's it called? Do you know?
The one for there's all different kinds for the Apple and the Android. But for the Android, it's called Trip Log GPS Mileage. So I have my own Mary Kay page.
Okay, that's cool. See, that's stuff I don't own my word.
I know.
Text, I don't even know. I don't even want to know about this. Going back to the weekly accomplishment sheet, it's going to tell me how you're doing. Like, I can see your wholesale orders, but I cannot see what your sales are. I have no idea if you're ordering 2,000 wholesale and you're getting 0 sales. I can't help you if I don't know. So if you submit it to your director. And so then you also get recognition, and that's how...
Which one, the weekly?
Yeah, weekly. So that's how my newsletter people pull the information. They pull it off of In Touch. They can see who's submitted weekly accomplishment sheets, what the totals are. So when you see in my newsletter parties, facials, whatever, then you'll know that's because that person submitted. Okay?
Now, don't they? There's something on In Touch.
And you
where they
deserve to
show
be
you-
recognized.
It shows you how much wholesale. Used to, we could pull up how much wholesale we ordered. I couldn't find it.
For the year?
For
Go
last
under
year.
Income Advisory Statement.
Okay.
Income Advisory Statement.
But it
search.
just showed my statement for my. It didn't show everything I'd ordered wholesale.
Yeah, you type in an Income Advisory Statement, and it should search, and it should show your net wholesale purchases plus your Section 2, plus if you got any
Well, I
commissions
thought
at all.
it did all that. And see, I found it showed my commission checks, but I didn't see the rest of it. I'll go back.
That's
and
a
look again.
different report. Yeah, go back and just type in Income
Mm-hmm.
Advisory now.
Okay.
If you're not getting commissions, I'm not sure if you get an Income Advisory Statement. So keep all your manifests from your orders, okay? Because that will...
You mean the thing that
the
we,
sheet
in the
that
thing?
yeah, the sheet
Okay.
that comes in your order, just in case. I'm not sure. Okay. Next is your 6 most important things list. This is something that Mary Kay set from the get-go to do. Ooh, I don't hope I have enough. Here we go. Now I know that we all have 6,666 most important things to do. I know that's a bad number. But this is seriously, this is what mine looks like. Okay, so in my life, I have Mary Kay personal business to take care of, Mary Kay unit business to take care of, my husband, and then, personal items to take care of. So what I would do is, now I do it on my iPad, but what I used to do was I'd get one of these every month. It's so messy, look. And this was my Mary Kay page. This was my Mary Kay page of like people that I needed to contact. I just wanted to have it right next to me to where I could go, oh, I just thought of her. She's somebody I need to book. She said, because it won't come back to me later. Trust me. Once it's left the set, it goes in and it goes out. And then, oh gosh, this is like personal stuff. So I actually would have a page for each thing. Yeah, I'm not very neat, I'll be honest with you. But, hey, I got to directors, crazy, see? So, but I couldn't find one of my old ones, but I used to do it like this. When I said Troy, that's because I used to work for him too. So, so there were things that were driving me crazy I would have to do for him. Like I had to make his girls out right now, so I did have to make a couple of calls today. But so does that make sense that I was able to divide it up? So when you have a ton of things, so what I would do is but then you pick the 6 most important things that you feel you can cross it off as you go. That way you feel you've accomplished something. And then you just have to prioritize. So what can I delegate? What can I do myself? What can just move over to the next day? Because if you're like me, seriously, you got 890 bazillion things to do. So that's the thing. And so she just kind of divided it out like that. This is how Gloria did it, and I think she still does it, is on a notebook. Like that. Something about physically writing. Oh, look, see, here was my weekly my weekly plan sheet. I like to do colors. I like to do colors.
That's how they teach you on InTouch.
Colors work for me. What can I say? Okay.
It's more visual.
Then, if you need something, and I've sent something like this around before, if you need to have some kind of tracking system, it works better for you to, prospects you need to call, things like this, because these are all IPAs. These are IPAs, organized. So, tracking, you do not know what you do not track. Seriously.
Yeah.
I can show you my iPad right now.
Amen to that.
Huh?
But amen to that.
Serious. Even me. What I spent doing on the plane on the way back was going back through my phone on my iPad and making basically these lists and of who I want to follow up with this week for appointments, selling appointments, team building appointments, unit follow-up appointments. Customers are driving me crazy. I love my customers, I'm just kidding. But just little things like I need to switch this out, or can you send me cream, ivory, beige, whatever. Just little, I can't forget them. And the only way I can't forget them is if I write them down, in some kind of orderly fashion, whether it's on your phone, your iPad, or something like that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And don't you wish that you only had 6 most important things to do in your life? And have y'all ever gone through the entire day thinking, I know there was something I was supposed to do today, and then you think about it at 11:30 at night when you're finally laying your head on your pillow, and then your eyes pop open because you remember what it was. Oh my gosh, that totally happened to me when I was in Disney World. I was like, oh crap, I forgot to tell Mary Lee to leave the key under the mat for the cleaning people in the morning. Like she said, please remind me, and I was like, ugh. So in the middle of the night I'm texting her, don't forget to leave, So, and I didn't make a list because I was on vacation. Who needs to make a list on vacation, right? So operating from this will keep you on target. And you can focus on them, and at the end of the day, you can check off the ones you didn't finish and then move them over to the next day list. And by that time, I'm sure you'll have other things to add to it.
Holy cow.
Okay. So, paperwork, with Mary Kay really is simple, thank goodness, and not a paperwork nightmare. It can be a paperwork nightmare, but if you just keep your system simple like this, then it should be. Okay, I have a file accordion. And I emailed this around tonight, and it's called Tax Labels, and this is what I do. I don't do it by month. I'm going to pass it around so y'all can look. But I send around emails with tax labeled meal, postage, prizes, gifts, supplies, clothes, events, seminar, car, hotel, travel, phone, Citibank, Visa. Oh, crud, is she already ready?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
Okay. Media studio, orders, insurance, home office, so, like, you can actually get labels off of Jeff's website if you go by his worksheet that he has on there and take those, or you can go to Mary Kay In Touch and just search tax labels, and it'll give you like the tax. So you have, and I don't do it by the month. I just monthly or weekly slide them. If you just keep up with it and it doesn't get out of control, then you can just put it under the category that it goes in. Or you can have an Excel spreadsheet, knock yourself out, whatever works for you. But these are things that you're going to be able to use. Jeff's a big paper guy. He's more. Okay, so. So every customer that I have that's purchased product from me, I do have their name on it. I have a file for them, and it's in a 2 big baskets. Now, I will go through them, or have somebody go through them, every 2 years or so and clean them out for me. Because sometimes they move. Who knows what happens to them? I have ones that stick with me, and then I have ones that don't stick with me, and other ones. So.
I do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, don't touch me. Why you focus?
Okay, non-recovered sales tax. What is that? Okay, say you sell something to somebody for a discount. Keep in mind that you paid Mary Kay sales tax amount on the retail amount. So you're not getting your sales tax discounted. It's up to you whether you want to track that. There's a place on that on your on the weekly accomplishment sheet page. It says non-recovered sales tax. So if you don't charge them that full sales tax amount, then you can put it in there and make that as a write-off at the end of the year. Or if you're mean like me, I just tell them, you know what? I really don't usually say anything, but I will tell them. If they ask, I say, I'm giving you a discount because I want you to be a happy, fulfilled customer today, but I had to pay Mary Kay the actual retail 8.25% on the retail amount, so that's why the tax is this much if they ask me. And I don't usually have any problems with that. They're like, oh, okay. Then you don't have to have a loss on that, and then you don't have to have if you do, I don't want anybody to get really ticked at me. So if they're like, well, that's not fair, then I will have it under non-recovered sales tax, and then that is a deduction at the end of the year. Does that make sense? Okay. Accordion files. Okay, we did that. Okay. There are ways on the Mary Kay In Touch website, on the calendar. I think that part of the reason that I've lost customers in the past is not by getting so busy because I'm doing unit, and because really my unit is kind of my customers. But doing the 2 + 2 + 2 rule, where you put a little tickler on your calendar on the Mary Kay In Touch website, there's a little calendar there, and I think there's like a little way you can do a tickler on it. So say I have facial dawn on such a date, then I'm going to tell her I'm going to check with you in 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months, because they should be running out of something in 2 months. And if you keep track of it like that, then you'll have a really good system. Like 2 days, you want to make sure that she's happy, because the way I've had some returns, and I'm just going to be honest with you, is because I didn't do that. I didn't check up with them, and they got the wrong form. Because not everything is for everybody. But if I had checked with them soon enough and had their checkup makeover, or checked with them in 2 weeks, then the purpose of the checkup makeover is to do their color at that point. That's basically what Dawn did, but she came back the next week, and did her checkup makeover, and also that way you're keeping yourself from having your return, basically. Not that happens that often, but it's happened to me. So, so that's the 2 + 2 + 2 rule. And, okay, so then the next thing is, I'm going to just give you this real quick. A lot of y'all ask me, how did you become a director? This is a sheet that I used, and I did this for 10 to 11 months, and that put me into directorship. 3 plus 3 plus 3, it's that simple. I held 3 parties a week. I did 12 faces weekly. I just made sure, and I put in their names. I put in how much I sold to new customers, how much in reorders, and then I did at least 3 team building appointments every week. You want to bump it up? You want to take it up a notch? Do 5 plus 5 plus 5, and watch yourself move. It's just consistency. I mean, I was dumber than a doornail. Huh?
What are your 3s? You said 12 faces, but you said 3
3 parties, like 3 parties of 4. If you want to do 12 individuals, do that.
And then 3 sharing sessions?
3 sharing sessions. And when I say that, doesn't mean like, oh, you want to do Mary Kay? You talk to me about No. That means you're in their personal space. Like, Brittany and I had coffee together. Well, she didn't have coffee, but no, she did have coffee.
We had coffee, but I didn't drink coffee.
Yeah, okay.
We just met up. We both had drinks already.
We did it. Yeah, we did it. So, that's what that means. And if you do it, I promise you will move. If you're not and you're doing that, then you let me know because something's missing the mark somewhere. Okay. Okay. This was the part that Sarah Catherine was supposed to do tonight. Money management. Where are we? Ooh, I better hurry. Okay. Money management. Okay. Here, cut this out. This is your, I think that's enough. Yeah. Okay. This basically is showing you, okay, if you started, does everybody have one?
No.
Okay, well, no, before we go into that, okay, I've heard once that it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep, so I'm going to help you keep your money. Because you absolutely positively want to have 2 different bank accounts. Oh, 2 different bank accounts. And the reason you have 2 different bank accounts is because if you do not have one for your Mary Kay business, and I'm not saying to go out and get one that says business account and you pay business charges and all that. I did not. I just had a separate personal one, but it was for my Mary Kay business only. I had a savings and a personal one. If you do not, the IRS considers it a hobby. And if it's a hobby, you cannot take deductions.
Wait, I have to have a savings too?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. But I like to have a savings that way.
I have a savings with my other one, but then I have a personal name.
I just like to show Troy. Does that make sense? Like, for example.
Mine's not viewable for him.
Yeah, I know. Well, mine wasn't at first either, but, like, for example, I'm going to be honest with you. I was showing that I was in Florida with my kids, and that last day I had my computer out because I didn't want to get wet because we were out there and jump on a plane, and I had some little comments on there like, you workaholic and you this, I'm like, you know what? My kids would not even be here in Disney World right now if it weren't for Lisa doing Mary Kay. That Mary Kay paid for this trip. So whatever. I was like, yeah, okay. So, okay. So on the back of this page right here, I want you to draw a big circle that I just gave you.
Like a big circle?
Draw a big circle. And, the other reason, too, that I want you to keep 2 separate things, I have my Mary Kay money bag, and then I've got my personal money bag. I have 2 separate bags, because if I put my Mary Kay, somebody pays me cash, I might go buy Mickey D's on the way home and get chicken nuggets for Linda, because that's the only, I don't keep a lot of cash. So I do have Mary Kay, but I need to put that back into my Mary Kay account.
I was this one when you said listen to the calls to get the Mary Kay bag.
Yes, I'm going to give you one.
I was wondering.
You didn't get yours either?
No.
Okay, y'all got to help me.
Okay.
Well, I just didn't want to, be rude and say something.
I keep the Mary Kay money bag in my car at all times with, some 1s, 5s, and 10s. That way I can give change back.
Right. But that's my Mary Kay money, and I do not use that for, y'all remind me before we leave, to give you your money back. They're in the closet. Okay. Because you'll never keep it straight, and you're not going to pay it back. I promise you, because I've done it. And so don't start making deals with yourself that you don't start talking to yourself in your head back because you'll never keep it straight, I promise. Okay, so draw a circle on the back of your page. And this is going to be your Mary Kay pie. And I'm going to show you the 60-40 rule. On the left-hand side, I want you to write 50%.
In the circle?
Yeah, this is a big circle. And then on the left-hand side, just write 50%. And then under,
In the circle? Or
yeah, in the circle. Yeah, sorry, in the circle. And then underneath that, I want you to write products. And I understand that not everyone can come into Mary Kay with a full store, but there's no reason why you can't build to a full store within 3 to 4 months. And what I call a full store is between $3,000 and $4,000 wholesale on your shelf. Y'all would die if you knew how much wholesale I had on my shelf, and I think that I'm low.
You are low. From when the last time I was there,
Right over there.
you're really low.
Really low.
Because when we went for our slumber party,
I
it was like, where'd all that stuff go that was over there?
I haven't, no, because I've been saving it up for Kelly. But, like, for me, I'm low. But, as wide as our line is, I think when I did my inventory at the end of the year, Dana was like, you're low, and it was like over $10,000 wholesale. I'm not telling you that to freak you out. That's just me and the amount of business that I do.
No.
Oh, no, but, I mean, you know, I was talking to someone in our unit, and she was telling me when she started her other business, she invested over $300,000. I'm not saying her name because she didn't give me permission, but she invested over $300,000. I was like, whoa.
From Mary Kay?
No,
Other
that's what I'm saying.
business.
The biggest investment that you even, like, the largest order there is $4,800 starting with. So Mary Kay, compared to other businesses, I mean, and you have the buyback guarantee. That she didn't have any buyback guarantee. She did $300,000, and it took off. You know. And she makes a 6-figure income. But that was scary. Kudos to you, girl, because that is scary. So,
Stay on topic.
Huh?
Stay on topic.
All right. So, 60-40. Okay, so write 50%, and then write products. Okay, now I will tell you that I don't know one top director in Mary Kay who doesn't operate from a full store. I'm not trying to tell you get there right now, but you want to get there eventually if that's your goal, okay? Because I don't have time to be holding classes, booking classes, figuring out what I don't have, and running back and forth to Carrollton and figuring out who can get it for. I'm serious. I don't have time for that. It's very consuming of my time. Waiting for products to come in, paying $8.75 for it to be shipped, or
No, it's more than that now. It just went up.
Went up. Oh, that's
It's
right.
like $9.20.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
So doing all that is not an income-producing activity, right? Okay. You spend. So if you spend more time making the same amount of money, which means you're actually making less per hour. So y'all understand that. Okay. So if I were to go to 7-Eleven and I really, really want Dr. Pepper, but they've got Sprite, and they've got Coke, and they've got Diet Coke, but they don't have Dr. Pepper, I'm not waiting 2 weeks to go get my Dr. Pepper. I want my Dr. Pepper now. So, okay. So, turn this back over. What I want you to see is that this is how it works. And it's not to make anybody feel bad. There's people that have started at a 600, but they work and they work hard and they're concentrated. So if you came with 600, then what you want to do is reinvest 90%, 5% on sales aid, that's section 2. Keep aside 5% for PCP, and then 0% is your profit until you get. Does this make sense to you? This chart.
Mm-hmm.
What is PCP?
Preferred Customer Program, not a drug. I know it's in one of the first videos.
Okay.
But it's Preferred Customer Program. That's where you send out the lookbooks. It's in one of the first videos that I did. So basically, this is showing you how you reinvest until you get to full level inventory, and you can actually track it. So it's so cool. So really cool. So, and the other thing is I've had people come in too. I've had them come in, like say with an $1,800 order, and I know that they've sold and they've sold and they've sold, and I'm like, where is their other order? They never, or even $3,600. I've had them come in. They sell everything, and then they don't have anything. It's weird. You just want it, whatever you take off your shelf, you replace.
It's those McDonald's chicken nuggets you were buying from your money
You
bag.
just, you replace whatever, and then if you're not at a full store level, but you're wanting to make, it's like whatever conversation I had with you. If you're a hobby use consultant, then maybe 1,800 is a good place for you to stay. If you're only going to hold 1 or 2 appointments a month, then there really is no need for you to have 3,600 on your shelf. I don't want to cry. I don't want you to feel like, oh, it's staring at me, But at the same time, you're wanting to really, I want to be a Pink Cadillac sales director or whatever. Well, then reinvest. Like replace what you did and get 2 of them, or get something that you didn't already have to add to your store. Okay.
So, are you saying that, like this time, $1,800, the next time, my order should be $3,600?
No, I'm saying that you would, me personally, like since you're wanting to actually make this your business, what I would do personally is I would recommend reinvesting until you get to $3,600. Just reinvesting your profit till you get to $3,600. Now, some people that doesn't motivate, it demotivates them. So then I'd say, well, pay yourself something, so that you're seeing something. For me, it was demotivating to have any kind of a finance charge or a loan. So I did like $3,000, and our line was much smaller then. And then I just paid it. I didn't pay myself. I paid it off. Like I put everything back until I paid off my loans. I didn't want to have one at all. I mean, I'm not a debt person. I mean, we don't pay our credit cards plus interest every month. I pay up my balance, and if I can't, then I don't get it. With the exception of my Mary Kay inventory, because I knew that I had 6-month period of time. That's what I given myself, and and it was gone. I mean, it was paid off. So does that make sense? And that's what that thing is for. Okay. Going back to your circle, Lori. On the other half of your pie, give yourself a little 10% sliver. That half of that, like you saw on this page, 5% of that is sales aids, and the other 5% of that is your PCP, preferred customer. So you don't want to ever use more than 10% on sales aids or preferred customer programs. Then you're eating into your profit too much, or your section 1. And then the other 40% that's left, so we did 50%, that's products. You're replacing your products. 10% is your section 2 sales aids, your applicators, your washcloths, all that. And then the other 40% is your profit. Now, if you invested in your business and you got a credit card or loan or whatever, out of that 40%, you can pay down your investment, or you can start. Some people want to pay it off, like I said, right away. Some people want to give themselves 20% and pay off 20% on their loan. It just depends on your personality type and what motivates you. Does that make sense? And what your interest rate is. I'm not throwing you 22%. Yeah, I'm going to pay myself 20%. No. That contradicts, does that make sense, everybody?
And the reason why this is so important is because missed money management can be, it's like the number one reason for failure. So this is so
money
important.
Management, emotional management, skills, and when I say skills, I mean, really there's not that many skills to this business other than, I mean, that can all be learned. I never did makeup before in my life till Mary Kay, as far as teaching, learning, whatever. It's really mismanagement of money and emotional mismanagement. Like, if you get poopy feeling, then you don't let me know. So, now, you can have a pity party, but it will be the most expensive party you'll ever throw yourself. Just saying. So, if your truck breaks down and I have no other way to pay for it, am I going to take my Mary Kay money that I've made from the sales of my product to get my truck fixed instead of reinvesting in the product? I mean, you got to at least reinvest in what you sold. I've seen people embezzle themselves out of business over and over again. So, I'm not being negative. I'm just saying you can, you want to at least reinvest that and then add too. So, when you start making a commission check, that is my pure profit. I put that in my savings. That's what paid for Disney World. My sales pay for my help as a sales director. Now, y'all don't even have any. Your sales is just profit. But my sales is to pay for my help, my, all those things. But I write off all those things and get it back on my taxes. So, a lot of sales directors completely operate out of their sales and then their commission checks or their savings, their gold fund. So, when you get a $19,000 director paycheck, that'll go straight to the bank. You'll like that. I haven't gotten one of those yet, but okay. So, which products should you have on your shelf? Well, we had an individual conversation with Dawn. Hers was a little bit different than say what I might have done for Melissa. Everybody. That's why I have individual conversations with you, because I want you to have the best bang for your buck, like really and truly. I know it's your money, and I take that very seriously. Okay, last thing. I'm going to tell you about seminar career conference. As a consultant, if you're committed to success, then there are 3 events you're going to want to attend every single year, and that's going to be career conference, that we just came back from.
Yeah.
And then you're going to want to go to seminar. And and then there's usually a fall advance, and we go to Sabrina's, which is in October. This last year we did Go Give because I was in Italy, so I'm sorry. We went to the Go Give advance, but really, and it was okay, but it was nothing like going to Sabrina's advance. It's just when you have what is it? So, and that was the first time that I've been to a Go Give, and it's nice that the company, they actually asked me to be a teacher, I was totally honored at that, but. I was sitting there thinking, oh man, I wish I was at Sabrina's right now. So, the other thing too, I don't know if you saw the Remarkable Weekend that I sent around. I'm totally pumped about that. We're not going to have time to talk about that tonight, but, okay. And then if you y'all will hear Diamond, Emerald, Pearl, Ruby. Okay, we are part of the Emerald division. What part which one? Sapphire. Sarah Catherine and Sapphire. So we are, when you see things for seminar and all that, we are in Emerald. The Emerald seminar is July 31st through August 3rd. Write that on your books. The cost is it $175 or $185? $185. Okay. You will get that back in free product. It covers the bulk of your meals. Set aside, you're going to go get coffee. There are other things that we do. We do the breakfast with Gloria. Those things cost money. But if you start setting aside like $5 for your, I know people want to get coffee every day. So I don't. But from Starbucks. But if you start setting aside money like that, you'd be surprised. You'll have it by the time it gets here. Just a little bit at a time. Okay. It's incredible. It's like Mary Kay College, a Miss America pageant, and Broadway show, all packed into 3 days. And the better we do as a unit, the better front row seats we get. And you don't think you care about your ribbons, but didn't y'all look at Lisa?
Yeah, we're the other day, and there's a lot of conversational starters.
Yeah, so we get different ribbons for doing different things. She was a star. She's on Target Star. All-star consistency. What?
Has ice cream on it, sorry.
Well, I didn't know this. But, and Cadillac units get to sit in a separate area, and it's just better, trust me. Otherwise, you feel like cattle. So, speaking of seminar, there are courts that you can be recognized for each year. One is the Court of Personal Sales, and the other one is the Queen's Court of Sharing. Gonna pass this out. Queen's Court of Personal Sales, this is how you can track it. I know that we're winding down the year. We have 4 months left, but I do recognize you still at our banquet that we have based on your wholesale orders and sales that you did for the year. So to be in the Queen's Court of Personal Sales, and you're like, what is that? Okay, well, I showed y'all the stuff that you get to choose from this year, this ring, this ring, this ring. They're all gold and gems. Grill if you want one for your husband. iPad 3. I might take another iPad 3, to be honest. So you have choices. You can even get a money voucher if you want instead. So that's what the personal court of sales is. When you are in the personal court of sharing, that means you have 24 and this is how you can track it. Keep it on track all year long. And you're in the Queen's Court of Personal Sharing, that means you have 24 qualified throughout the year. And there are consultants, and there are that do both courts that are not directors.
Qualified team members?
Qualified 600. Oh, and this is how it's different. I didn't do quota sharing last year, but the year before I did. And what that means is I had some people come in with a 200, and by the end of the year, they had done 2 more 200. So they counted towards a qualified team member for me for the year. And I had one that was like at $400 or $500. I was like, Catherine, please, go sell something. She's like, oh, well, and she did. And so I got into quota sharing. Yeah. And so, I mean, so that's where it's cumulative. You don't get bonuses on $200 orders, but they do count towards your quota sharing. Does that make sense? They don't. It doesn't count for the Raining Red or anything like that. Okay. Star consultant status. Okay. So Amy did 1,800, for example, this quarter. Okay. But she has a qualified team member, which is Dawn. That means 600 or more. That bumped her up to Ruby status. Same thing with Leah. She was a star based on her sales. Like, she did star the first quarter by investing. Second quarter, she sold her way to star. She brought in Cheyenne, who did 1,200. That bumped her up to Ruby. That's why I'm a pearl. Like, it's based on my qualified. My sales, it didn't just do Sapphire. But my sales plus all my qualified team members. Does that make sense?
You have to be a star to be bumped up.
You have to be a star to be bumped up. Okay? Now, the only way Mary Kay knows what you're doing is by what you're purchasing. The only way I know what you're doing is your weekly accomplishment sheet. Like what you're selling. I see your wholesale orders. I don't know what you're selling unless you do your weekly accomplishment sheet. And I submit to my sales director.
I'm sorry. Would it be now, like me starting out, would it be rude to ask the money for anybody's purchasing order? Would it be rude to ask for the money up front?
I always do, or we always do, unless it's like the husband no-not plan and they do payments. Like, I have a girl who just texted me. She's like, "Don't I owe you $20?" And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, I just didn't want to start a conversation."
I don't know how to, like, I want to.
That's kind of like,
question.
Yeah, that's a good question. I know, but that's your personal decision.
But don't hurt yourself from it. At least do, like, because, I find myself at times where I'm like, okay, I don't have any money to buy the order yet. But I'm trying to be nice to say, no, you can pay me when you can. But at least try to do half payments. Get half to pay your order, and then the other half
upon delivery. That's a great idea.
Because I found myself really stuck sometimes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to make the order.
Right. For me, we're operating at a different level with the full store. Yes, I can. When you do not, no, you do not want to do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to be out like, oh, half of my money, And there's nothing wrong with, the way I do it is I do it in 2 payments. When you order, you pay half, and then when I deliver, you pay the rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can be slightly stern with that too. Don't.
Or you could ask. You can pay all up front, or you can do half now, half on delivery. You could say it that way.
Anyway. Okay, so I am going to close this out because I think she's going to come out here. So next steps. What do y'all feel are like the next steps in your business?
DIQ. I have a feeling that's not what she was asking.
I guess.
But what?
Red.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Red.
Okay, very good. Now y'all know though, to move yourself into leadership, you want to be in front of faces, and so faces.
So booking is my goal.
Booking is your main
Yeah,
goal,
booking.
right?
That's why I got here today. Because I was trying.
I got a promise from one of my coworkers or whatever, but I told her Saturday we were together. I said, I need a list of your customers who you want potential to invite, and tell them they must buy.
Well, she's very upfront.
That's funny. So do non-IPA activities, non-income producing activities before 9 and after 9. Okay, remember 9 to 9 are people hours, and you don't always have to focus on your business, but focus on people during those hours, 9 to 9. And when you can't talk to people anymore, do the non-people stuff. And then the next step, I would darn well shoot for that senior consultant pin enhancer. And then if you really got to work, you could be in a red jacket by Tuesday. tomorrow. And what are you focusing on and what do you want? If you go home and you set down the goals that you want for yourself in the next 6 months, and then you call me and tell me what they are, I can help with you and work backwards from
Is
you.
that on your website? What you're reading?
No.
Okay. You said non-IPA?
Non-IPA activities before 9 and after 9.
Before 9 a.m.?
Before 9 a.m. or after 9. Like, I'm a better after 9 p.m.er girl.
I remember 9 to 9 is people time.
Right, 9 to 9 is people time. So,
Rhymes.
yeah.
Don't laugh. You're jealous.
That's really rhymes. That's an N and an M.
Go home and sit down, like, tell me what you're, like we talked about, the 3 most important things this week.
And then tell you when we do them.
And then tell me when you've done them. And then what your ultimate plan is, and I can help you work backwards from there. So, the other thing, too, is that there's nothing that y'all can't accomplish in the next 6 months. If you go home and make the decision and dig in your heels and get to work, like, seriously, there is never is your decision away from your destiny. And I can promise you, if you will work for the next 6 months, if you will do for the next 6 months what most people won't do, you can do for the rest of your life what most people can't. And Mary Kay Ash says that you can have anything you want in life if you're willing to work hard enough to pay the price. And really, the price is so much less than working for someone else. I've done it both ways. Will it cost you like a few nights on the couch? Probably. Will it cost you a night or out two at the game? Might it cost you a little Pinterest time or Facebook time? Yes. But in the long run, the short-term sacrifice. Recording. Thank you. In the short term, the sacrifice will be so worth the long-term gain. I can promise you that. And there's a big difference between sacrifice and compromise. So if you think about what you want and you're willing to work for it, ask yourself every single day, if I keep doing this every day, where will I be in a year? So if you need to make yourself a checklist every day, do that. So, and then I'm here to help you as well. From this point forward, know that you're playing ball with me. And I can't play ball. I can't juggle by myself. Well, I guess I could, but this is the way it works. If I throw the ball to you and you catch it and you throw it back, then I'm still playing. If I throw it to you and it goes over your head and you don't go get it and throw it back, then I figure you're not playing ball with me anymore. So, but I want you to be excited about where you are in your business, and it's up to you what you want. When you're ready to run, I'm going to run straight with you to the top. It's a 2-line open communication, and it's not my job to twist your arm or anything else. So, okay, I want you to repeat after me. One last vow. Raise your right hand. I will not go home and cry.
I will not go home and cry.
I am not done.
I am not done.
I will not be overwhelmed.
I will not be overwhelmed.
I will not be stressed out.
I will not be stressed out.
I will keep going.
I will keep going.
Go Mary Kay!
Go Mary Kay! Am I stopping?
Yes.